This is the official Sam podcast, and I'm here with my first guest here being, well, Conti or Colin, whatever you want to call yourself.
Hey,
Good morning, bro.
hey,
See what time it is. It's currently 1:34. Good morning.
yeah,
So definitely some interesting questions today. It's not going to be about gaming entirely. I'm going to point that out right now. Plus, I think we should have
okay,
a face cam here because I think it should be a lot more personal. Seeing face to face, it makes you have better interactions. So we have that there.
yeah.
So yeah, let's start off. The first question being, what is the first video game you ever played? You have a recollection of it?
Oh my God. The first video game I ever played was Bee Swarm Simulator, and I still sometimes play it to this day.
That's
I
the
loved Bee Swarm
that's the
Simulator.
first video game you ever played. Like out of all the video games you
Yeah.
could play, it was only like not Mario, not Pokemon. It was
No,
Beast
no,
One.
no, no.
How were you
Mm-mm.
as a kid
Because
then? On here.
I've always had a computer in my room. Like I've either had a laptop or a desktop or something. Like I always had a computer, like an iPad, a phone, some type of something. And
Mm.
I remember I downloaded Roblox and I saw a video. I saw a video of somebody. I think it was like I can't remember the guy's name, but I saw a video of him playing Bee Swim Simulator. And I was like, this looks cool. I want to do it too. And so I downloaded Roblox and I played Bee Swarm, and that was like my favorite game for a while. Like I easily spent over like 500, $600 on that game just in like Robux alone. It was so much fun.
That's just unreal. Were you like endgame at all? I think you were like showing me that you were like endgame basically. Yeah, like
Yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah.
So
I got the like I think my most recent I got the Dark Side, but that
yeah.
was like almost 2 years ago. Like I haven't played like, that
So you're
game
like a red
ever
high
since.
player. I see. I see. See,
Yeah.
for me, I did not. That was not the first video game I ever played. I mean, I'm 23. The first game I ever played was, I think it was like Super Mario Bros. On like the Game Boy Advance. When I was like three or
hmm
four, and ever since then, I always loved games. So yeah. All right. Second question: how was your gaming experience, both online and just in general?
I'd say it was pretty good. Like I never had a bad experience with games. Like I was always like an obby type player until I found PF, and PF was my first shooter. Like, and then I found Arsenal, and then I found like games after that. But like before, I was just kind of like a little kid playing games. Like after I found Beast Storm Simulator, I got an Xbox, and I used to play like I'd play Lego Marvel Superheroes, and I beat that game. So I
Hmm.
was never like I never gamed online, I guess. And then after Beast Swarm, I found their Discord because I knew there was like codes and stuff, and I just didn't know how to get them.
Hmm.
So I found their Discord, and I got Discord at like 11, maybe like
Questionable.
10.
Very questionable.
I got Discord at 11, maybe 10. And I was just in there for the codes, and I started to chat with the community, and the people were cool. So I was just like, this is fun, you know? And
Hmm.
then I found like PF, but I didn't find PF until like a year later. And so I'd started playing PF, but I'd never joined their Discord because I was just I didn't use it for that.
Hmm.
And so a lot of my friends, like I never had friends to game with per se. It was more just me and like the game. And I thought that was cool for a while, but I eventually found like a community within like the games, and I just kind of like stayed in my own little like community within the game.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do. I mean, number one
Mhm.
thing I regret was talking to Synthesize OG's Discord server. That was definitely a bit questionable. Definitely some scandalous activities went wrong in that server, but that's life. There, can't
Yeah.
say here now. Um, do you think gaming ever like inspired you to do anything different in real life or any sort of like other activities?
Definitely actually. Like after well, I started gaming, and it just like it inspired me to try new things because I used to never like try new things, and then I started gaming and I started trying new games because like I don't like to be bad at it. I don't like to be bad at something when I do it. I think that's for most people. But I used to be really bad at the games, and that's like where my fear of trying new things came from. I was like, I'm gonna be really bad at it. But after I started gaming, I started trying new sports. Like I did baseball for a while, and I wasn't bad, but I wasn't the greatest. And I never like wanted to be the best, but I wanted to be good enough, you know?
Competitive, yeah, at the very
Yeah, I wanted
least.
to be good enough. So I just did like different sports, like, and I made varsity for all three that I played, but tennis, baseball, and I'm missing one. I can't remember. Whatever. But I made varsity for all three that I played, but I just wasn't, like it wasn't that I was crazy or anything. It was just that I was good enough to make it, but not good I was too good I was too good to be JV, but I wasn't good enough to be like starting varsity. And that was okay with me, you know? But like
Yeah.
the gaming kind of helped me give me that push that I needed to just break out into adventure, I
The
guess.
sort of competitive nature, because always like as
Hmm.
humans we need to be at some capacity somewhere competitive in anything we do. It doesn't have to be just gaming, right? It could be like any
Hmm.
sort of craft, any sort of job, really any sort of field work, for being honest. But it's
Hmm.
great, yeah. Do you ever get any like high kill games when you played PF, or any sort of high kill like achievements here for like, oh man, I can't believe I actually did this for once in my life. Like I can't believe, wow, it's
Um,
unbelievable.
no, I never like not because I didn't get good at the game until like recently because I was always on like a bad computer. So I only got good like maybe a year ago and then I quit. So like but like I always wanted to be like a high rank because I pre-bought the M231 and that was like my main
Bro.
gun for that was my
Yep,
main gun for like 3 years. And I got like 60K on it and I was like, whoa, like this is a lot. Like I never imagined myself having 60K on one gun. Like it was insane to me. So I just kind of like and then I saw all these rank 200s and I'm like a measly little rank 90, rank 85 and I was like I'm going to be rank 200 one day. I'm going to be rank 300 one day. And it was just like that grind of like I'm going to be as good as these players one day.
of
But
course.
as far as like Heiko games go, I never started getting those until like recently. So it just wasn't because like after I've been in the competitive scene, I've done that, I've seen it all. Like I don't really like look at Heiko games and be like, yeah, I'm gonna be there. But like so sometimes I'll look back on my old PC, my old laptop actually, and I'll look at my kill games and I'll be like, yeah, I'm making my little me proud, you know.
Of course.
I'm doing what he thought he could do. So,
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I've been playing this game since what, like nearly a decade, and I'd say I made myself a pretty good all-time player. I mean, can't complain.
mhm.
Yeah, people think about me.
Number one aimer.
At one point in time, definitely not now. Paradigm exists, but that's the point. Um,
Mhm.
how was comp overall? Your overall like your overall competitive experience, was it like remotely fun when you were young? You kind of got stomped, and you did play when you were young. How was it
Yeah.
overall? And do you regret it at all? Do you have any sort of like you know sympathy for your younger
I
self?
I don't regret it, but I wish I knew I wish I knew when to quit because I was 11. I was like 11, 12 at the time. I just wanted to fit in with everybody else. Like I wanted to fit in with the big boys of the league. So I was trying to I was trying to be that and it just wasn't working because I was just so bad at the game. Like you can imagine like an 11, 12-year old on a little laptop, only religiously using the M231 on a map like Desert Storm, and I'm playing against like Nolan and Dracarius and Bryce. It wasn't working. Like and I
Yeah,
would just never switch off because I didn't know how to use any other gun. Like I didn't know how to use the G36. I didn't know how to use the AKM. I only knew how to use the M231. And so it was just like whoa, like it was just like this guy is shit. Like he can't do anything else. He's terrible. And I was still trying to like talk to them. And cause I had no like social skills because I'm like 11 at this time.
of course.
I didn't know how to differentiate when people were being mean and just like, you know, trying to have fun. So it was just kind of like that. And I just wish that despite it trying to be an improvement, I wish that we had like some more moderation in terms of what the people say in PFMM because Bryce used to just go crazy. I remember there's two people that I used to just hate being in queue with, and it was Bryce and it was Roman for like at least a
Poor
year
Robin.
because I would just get absolutely dogged on, not even in game, just in in the queue. Like they would just say some crazy stuff to me, and it was just like this is so like it was just so mean, and I wasn't there for it, but I feel like it helped me grow as a player now. So that way, when I see new players, because I'm definitely not to their skill level back then, and Roman's pretty good right now. So like, of course, I'm not just gonna like randomly yell at a new guy, but like, I feel like it helps me now to where I'm like, hey, let's calm down. Like this guy's new. He's probably never played before. Like let's chill out, because that was me at one point, and it made me feel some type of way. But I feel like it helped me grow into spaces, like help me to do these podcasts, honestly, because if I was never called everything in the book already, I just wouldn't do them because I'd be so anxious that people are just gonna, you know, be absolute a-holes to me. So
Yeah.
I do thank them for the confidence that they gave me when I was a little kid, when I was a little wee jit.
The Wheela, yeah. Definitely,
Mm-hmm.
looking back at it, a lot of people were pretty condescending, but that's just how it was when you're all younger, and everyone was a lot more competitive because, we had some sort of currency to go by. Now, if we had real
Mm-hmm.
money, it'd be a lot worse by a considerable margin. But
Mm-hmm.
let's start with the crazier questions. The first one, do you believe that it's a universal right for education to be publicly accessible, even at a post-grad level? Like, for example, it should be free in a post-grad level.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
that I think that problem with the problem with society nowadays is that education costs too much, so therefore people just don't have access to it. So they just go off of what somebody else is telling them. I think that education, like at least the first 4 years of college, should be free. They should be funded by the government. You should have, or at least at the very minimum, a community college that should be free. Like the very minimum, a community college should be free. The 2 years you get your associates, and if you want to go, I think that education continuously going up in price makes no sense. Like there's no reason a college should cost like $40,000 a year. Like that's insane. That's more than some people make in a year. I think that the problems with society lead to a lack of education for the masses. And then when you do get an education, it's like you're punished because you're sitting in debt for over you're sitting in debt for decades. And then if you don't like and then when you do get the education, it's like you're not getting an education in something you want, right? Like most people nowadays are going to college for things like STEM, engineering. Like you're not going to college for something that you love. Like maybe you love African American studies, you want to get a degree in that. But like people are going to tell you that's a hobby. Like you need to get a degree in something that can support you for life. And I think that's wrong. Like and that could just be my privilege speaking, but like I think that people should be able to go to college for things that they love and not something that just only makes them money because that's boring. Like now you're now you're in a profession that you hate because you need money, and I think that's wrong. I think people should be able to get an education in things that they love. Like if you love psych, you should be able to get an education in psych and it not cost you an arm and a leg and basically your soul, you know?
That's also true. And the amount of work you also have to dedicate to into a psych degree to even get a job in modern day. The fact that you even have to
Hmm.
go through, well, let's say, 4 years of basic uni, then, med school or grad school,
Yeah,
that's
med
just another,
school, grad school.
yeah, it's just
Hmm.
annealing itself. The thing is, too, is like when you think about European countries, sure, it's not fully free for some countries, but they'll pay or at least let you have an affordable rate to where you pay it
Hmm.
fully, or not like worry about it. That's like really the
Hmm.
biggest thing that I just think is wrong in America. That like we have this power, we have all the money, we're a super economical powerhouse. But
Hmm.
one of the things that I always thought was crazy was that like having a better education system is the best investment for any sort of country. Objectively, it is because a
Yeah.
better quality of life, better funding, better
Yeah.
research,
I agree.
better internals. But the fact that we just don't
Hmm.
have that being normalized, it's the most asinine thing for me. Truly, I don't get it. But let's see the
Hmm.
next question we have here. Oh, it's a good one. What's your thoughts on the world and the geopolitics currently? You could talk about Palestine, the what's the name, the genocide in Congo. How do you
Hmm.
really feel about that? How can the people of America, well, help or even give support to these sort of atrocities that we unfortunately support, as a country, but not as people?
I think the American people, I think genuinely it comes down to, are you willing to revolt, right? because I've said this for a while now. Like I think this has been my philosophy. I think that it's time that we have a revolution against the government. Like because they're not listening. Like you can vote all you want. You can vote all you want. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to what puts more money into that person's pocket. And listen, I don't blame you, but as a citizen of America right now and as just like a human being, if that's what you want to do, and if you're not going to listen to what, because I can't vote, but if you're not going to listen to the popular vote, then honestly, we don't need you here. We need people that want to listen to us. We need people that want to help us, and we need people that are human beings and not money hungry bums, you know. So I think that genuinely I think that the Israel Palestine conflict is all America's fault, and we I think we indirectly are killing those Palestinians because that we keep sending billions and billions of dollars to fund Israel, and it's genuinely just disgusting how multiple of our politicians that say, "Oh, we're not going to send any more money," continue to send money after they said no. And I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you mean you're sending 300 billion more dollars to Israel? Like, we just said no. We just told you we don't want that." I think that America is trying to influence in places that don't want their influence, and it's hurting other people, and is making us look bad when it's really just our corrupt politicians. Because I think no matter the side you look at, I think they're both corrupt. I think that the Democrats lie, and I think that the Republicans tell you the truth. You know, they tell you the truth, but they articulate it a different way. Like the Democrats just lie to your face. I'm just gonna keep it so honest. Even AOC recently, I've just seen her just lie to our face, and I'm like, you're a liar. Like the Republicans, at least they're gonna tell you the truth. Like at least they're gonna say they don't like gay people. Like they're the Democrats are gonna say no, we love them, and then vote against them. Like there was I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's a trans congresswoman, and she voted against like having select bathrooms for trans people. It was something like that, and I watched a deep dive, and it literally said she just voted against it because she wanted her own bathroom. I'm like, man, come on, like you can't just. There's people counting on you for their lives now. Like these are people's lives, and you're just playing with it. And I think that American politics is fundamentally flawed. I think that there should be a council, but I think we have too many people on said council. I think that there's too many people in the Senate for them to completely agree, and there's too many people in the House for them to unanimously agree on anything. So it just comes down to who who has like who has more power in each place and what can they say to get all those votes. I don't think that I think America's flawed, and I think that we as people need to start waking up. I think too many people are asleep, but that's just my opinion. So,
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with a lot of that. I mean, I think the problem is with most people is that most people are just afraid of like really learning a little the truth and like kind of
hmm
having a nuanced perspective, right? It's like this is
hmm
like let's say like even like the 50s, man. If we're being honest, ever since the baby boomer age, right? Ever since after World
hmm
War II, we had a great economical period. We had to worry about anything, both financially and both like politics wise. Then
hmm
Nixon came in, the Ronald came in, and then it started this sort of perpetual cycle where we were up by a bit. Then some bills came in, starts going down.
hmm
Reagan really comes in, Reaganomics and this whole sort of concept of that really just ruins like the middle class of America, and it just goes down from there. And
hmm
we're only now really facing the true consequences of it, and it's honestly appalling that we can even face these sort of things, and we're now kind of the people that are forced to make a change. I think that
hmm
in itself is kind of criminal. But
Yeah.
really, the greatest thing too is about Palestine is that it's not even just America. Israel in itself has always been this way since even the 40s and the
hmm
50s. Like me personally, I'm Palestinian for real life. I've known since I was like a kid personally because I'm Muslim, So, but
hmm
regardless, like the fact that it's always been a thing and that no one has ever cared because mostly it's based off the media if they even want to like cover it.
hmm
We will never the full American truth is that we will probably will never know the full extent unless you know a person that is from that country or from the Middle East
hmm
that knows the full severity of it, and that's the worst thing by far. because we live in this American bubble where propaganda in itself is just always there. It actually like advocates for Americans not to do the extra research, and we just kind of lead feed off our lies essentially. That's really
Yeah.
the core problem that I just always thought was like insane to me.
Yeah.
Onwards, we have another question I think is pretty funny. Actually, that talks about more America in the 20th century. Do you believe America has always been the oppressor in the 20th century and beyond?
I think so, yeah. I think that America, even in their own country, is just like the dominant, like I feel like they just want too much. Like when they tried to do when with the Vietnam War and the Korean War, like it was just it's trying to spread their influence in places that it's almost like a Great Britain type of thing, like the Great British Empire. Like you can say that you're not trying to spread an empire, but you can't do it at the same time and then say you're not trying to. Like it doesn't make sense. So I think that America has always been the dominant oppressor, and if you don't agree, then you're not real. Like I feel like that's where so many people get like their patriotism from. It's just like, oh, America's great, America's great. There's genuinely like I don't there's nothing great about being American. Like I don't even really like if somebody asks me, I'm not gonna say I'm American, even though like I've lived here most of my life. Like I was born in Sweden and I'll die on that hill. Like if somebody asks me, I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm Swedish. Yeah. Because like I don't resonate with the country. I just think that what they do is so wrong on so many levels. Like it's not right to even align myself with this place that I've lived in for so long simply because their oppression to multiple like groups of people if you're not white is just weird. Like I think that's wrong and it's so they just continue to do it no matter what side of the political system you're on and I don't agree with it and I just don't.
That goes on more with like the West in general. The West is always kind of like just like really pillaged the East. You know, I mean, the best
Hmm.
example was the British. I mean, I'm Bangladeshi, so I know about how colonization really kind of ruined our country. And you know, my dad talks about a lot of it how it's always been a net negative. I mean, to just come
Hmm.
over and destroy a lot of things and make everything more so Britain than just keep everything how it is. It's one of those
Hmm.
things where you either love it or you don't. And obviously there
Hmm.
is some sort of upside that sure we're given to like like a bright light to the Western society, right? But at the same time though,
Hmm.
you're pillaging all our moral values and things we appreciate, you know? Because like think about it. Imagine your homeland gets invaded and now you have to believe in these
Hmm.
sort of like hypocrisies and things that you just don't like think is right, but according to their society is right. This sort of like
Right.
parallel just creates a real disconnect in that. That's why like really
Right.
most of like India or more Southeast or South Asia just feel a weird way. But it is also
Hmm.
polarizing because, you know, in India and South Asia in general, maybe in Bangladesh, we have Fair and Lovely ads. People want to be white. There's even a race problem with South Asia and or what's the name South India and North India. How North Indians are generally quite racist. Funny enough,
Hmm.
I mean, the funniest story I can remember, not funny, but just more crazy, is that my grandpa was he was a bit crazy about skin color. He did not like our cousins that are a bit darker, to say the least. It's interesting, and it's always been
Yeah.
this way. It's just this sort of colonial brainworm essentially made almost every South Asian have a beauty standard of wanting to be white, and I just
Hmm.
thought that was insane to me. Because me personally, I'm dating a woman that's mixed, and she's definitely darker than me. So it's definitely
Hmm.
quite funny. Let's go on with the next question here. Do you believe that democracy in itself is overrated?
Um, I I don't know. I don't think so. Like I think that uh, I think that we've never truly seen a democratic state for me to like truly put an opinion on that because even
Hmm.
America in itself, they can say that they're democratic, but it's really a republic. So I don't think that it's overrated. I just think that we've never seen it done the right way. Like communism, is you could say communism is overrated and it's really bad, but we've never seen it done properly. Like the closest the closest we've gotten is like China, and they're not even I wouldn't call them a real communist society. They're more socialist.
Hmm.
And even then, they're like a pseudo of all of them. So I think that it's unfair to say that it's overrated simply because you've never seen it done properly. The closest I can think is like like a lot of the Scandinavian countries. I think that, yeah, Scandinavian. I think that they do it really well. I just don't think that in the in the in the talks of democracy, I don't think that there's any country that's done it to how it's supposed to be, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Because I do think the biggest problem with America, at least to me, is that the country is way too big to have so many differing opinions, really. Because, well, we
Hmm.
have, like, what, let's say 400 million people. And naturally, the
Hmm.
person from, like, let's say a country like, or not, like, say, like, Alabama, is going to be
Hmm.
polarizing compared to a guy that lives in, like, Washington State. Politically,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not going to make sense at all, right? Like, one guy
Hmm.
is too busy living a lower economical life, probably living in a farm. The other one's buying $20 frappuccinos and buying from Burger 21 and being like an IT or something, or not an IT, probably like
Hmm.
some sort of like sales analyst job or something tech related,
Yeah.
realistically. It's just a
Hmm.
completely different lifestyle, and to me, that's why I think democracies, at least in America, are like fundamentally flawed.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
democracy.
I think that there's too much of a geographical change and there's too much of a cultural change for it to be like real. Because like I could say something and somebody from Kansas can say something and we can totally disagree on it simply because we don't live the same life. That's why I think that it works better in smaller countries like the Scandinavias because they're just smaller. So all their people are more or less on the same cultural scale and they more or less live like a similar life. Like in America, I don't live the same life as somebody in California and somebody in California isn't going to live the same life as somebody in Wisconsin. Like it will never be simply because those three states they're so far away from each other, and two, there's different economical like scales in each of those states. Like I think the California minimum wage is like 20-ish, 20, it's like $20
It's in the
now.
20s now because yeah, the living expenses are
Yeah.
so high there.
Yeah, it's $20 now. Here it's 16. Wisconsin is probably like $5 because you're farming all day. Like I've never been on a farm. I will never like know what it's like to be on a farm simply because I don't live that life, you know?
Of
Somebody on
course,
Wisconsin is gonna know what that's like and they're gonna support whatever makes them better, you
of
know?
course.
So I think that's just why.
It's actually a random question I just thought of. Do you think America will collapse within our lifetime? 'Cause honestly, I do think that's a
Um
pretty decent possibility. I don't think it's unlikely.
I I think it's a possibility. I think it's a possibility. I don't see it happening, like, but I think there's a good possibility that it could collapse. I think it could collapse.
If I were to guess, I think America probably be split between like probably 3 to 5 countries, maybe, if anything.
Yeah, probably.
Probably the
Probably,
South gets like
honestly.
split into one, the North gets split into one, maybe the West probably, maybe like the
Hmm.
Central area becomes like a combined colony. But that's probably what I was
Hmm.
thinking of. Let's see some more questions I got here. Okay. Ooh, here's a good one about yourself. As a black man, how do you think it affects in your day to day life? Especially as a black gay man, to be exact. I mean, do you
Hmm.
feel any sort of resentment? Do you think people online kind of just take you a wrong way? Do you think people in general just like give you this preconceived notion that you act this way, you're just considered annoying or a degenerate or etc. etc. Like, how do you really kind of live with it?
Low key, no. Like I kind of live life normally. Like
Hmm.
like those are just like passives. Like I don't think about them actively and I don't go like the only time I think about it is when like my mom says something and she's like, "Remember, you're black, so they're gonna like at my car. I was driving my car and my engine light came on and something was wrong and she was like, because I think my registry's almost up and she was like, not my registry, like the little sticker on your window. You know what I don't know what
Yeah.
that's called. But she was like, yeah, she's like, I'm gonna take your car and we're gonna go get it fixed and we're just gonna register it because, I just, she's like, you're a black man. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And so I was like, I never really thought about something like that until she'll say it. And I'm just like, because I just go on about my day and I live my life.
Hmm.
Like, I don't think about things like that because there's nothing I can change about that. Like, I can't change my skin color and I can't change who I like. So it's just like, okay, like I'll just move on with my day. Like, until I'm reminded that there are people who do think about that and who do care about that. So it's more like I kind of I kind of just I keep it in mind, but it's never in like the front. It's always somebody has to remind me, hey, people don't like you for things that you can't change. And like the only time that it really pissed me off was like it's so stupid, but it was Nick saying, yeah, Conti can't get perky because he's like a black gay retard. And I was like, bro,
Bro.
literally die. Like that pissed me off so bad. Like it genuinely annoyed me because I was like, bro, there's no way this is real. So I was like, whatever. But that's the only time where it just like kind of pissed me off. But I've never really like wanted to change anything or wished. Actually, that's not true. When I was like 13, I went to an all private school.
Oh boy.
So and there was like two black people in my entire school, and I hated being black, and I wanted to change my skin color, but I changed. I was open. I got open to diversity when I came, like when I moved, and I didn't go to a private school anymore. I went to a public school. Like I went to a public high school. So I kind of got to see that diversity, and I got to see like the beauty of all people instead of just like people with straight hair, people that were lighter skin tone, or just white people in general. So I got to see that diversity and that like culture. And it was definitely a shift for me, but I think it was a shift for the better, to be honest. So, mm,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those things that I think in America, I think one thing we always forget about is how diverse we are as a country. I mean, we were kind of like the
hmm
melting pot of the West. I mean, literally everyone came here for some sort of opportunity. Like my father came here
hmm
around 1992 because for him, he was an economist and well, he got an economics degree in Bangladesh. He was like, oh, the American dollar's strong. Let's move here. Let's settle down here.
hmm
My mom did the same thing, and yeah, I mean, what can you say? It's one of those things I think with America, we kind of forget how diverse we are as people. I think we're one of those countries that we have so much potential, but it's almost like I think society and the sort of the government kind of just allows us to be like less than something, albeit
hmm
probably for more a oppressive country, so we kind of just not really care. But
hmm
couldn't really tell you truthfully the exact response. All right, here we go. Another question here. Do you promote recreational drug use and how that could better help people or make people worse overall?
I I'm gonna be so honest. I don't know enough about like recreational drug usage or like drug usage in general because I try to stay ignorant to that topic so that way I don't like because I know like they're bad and stuff and I just kind of keep it at that. Like I know marijuana is used recreationally, but I don't know a lot about like the logistics and the stuff about it. So I'm gonna keep it at like I don't know enough to say anything, but I'm gonna say if you're using it recreationally, I think that if you know what your limits are, then it's then use it, you know? Like but if you know that you're not if you like yeah, if you know your limits, use it. If you don't, I think you should stay away. But I try to like I may I used to joke all the time where I'd be like, you know, I do a little coke in college. Like, you know, I'm a subject to FOMO. Like, if you're gonna offer me a little Coke, like I'll do it with you. But like,
Bro.
I'm literally joking. Like, I would never snort Coke a day in my life. Like, I would be terrified. I've seen what Coke does to people. It's literally terrifying. So I try to stay away from any type of drug because it genuinely just scares me. Like, it things that fuck up your life permanently genuinely terrify me because like I want to live life a little bit, and I just like if I'm gonna do something at like 18, 19, and it's gonna ruin me for the rest of my life, like I don't ever want to do it. Like I'm scared. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I'm iffy about it. I'm definitely pro on that. It should at least be decriminalized. I do agree with that.
hmm
But like the thing is with like recreational drug use is that the most of the time I feel like most people don't really have like a true like limit, so kind of just do whatever they want.
hmm
If I just like forcefully feed some guy, just give them like just bags of like just crack, and they have like a horrible lifestyle, they're considered that
hmm
as like a hobby. They're probably gonna smoke more of it, and then for all we care,
hmm
I just gave a guy a free addiction, and he can't just get off of it easily. And that's one of the things I
hmm
feel like with recreational drug use, it's like a very fine line where you can easily go off that fine line. That I can understand why
hmm
people don't promote it at all. I get that. I think that's completely fair. More about substance abuse. How do you feel about teenagers and the excessive nicotine usage in teenagers with Zins, Geek Bars,
Mm.
the Jewel being back in my day the prominent one, the
Mm.
Razes, shoot, like there's so many like all like iterations of just vapes and nicotine products. How do you feel about that?
I literally hate it so bad because okay, because now like right, this is my senior year of high school. I can't even go to bro. There's like seven different things I have to do when I want to go to the bathroom, and it's like if I've been holding in this piss since 8 a.m. It's now like 10:30, 11 o'clock. Like I don't have time to do seven different protocols to go to the bathroom and now I have to unlock the door. Like, no, I have to pee. I'm gonna piss my pants. Let me in the bathroom, bro. Like, there's so many. I think that I think that's also killing people. Like, my friend, he's not dead. He's not dead. But he used to
Yo, bro.
he used to, bro. He used to drive just absolutely stoned, and I'd hate it so bad. Like, he wasn't stoned to where he couldn't like do anything, but you could tell he was high because his inability to just form a sentence, it used to just irritate me so bad. And I just couldn't like I couldn't get the fun out of it. Like if you're high enough to function, then I feel like there's no point in doing it. Like what's the point? Like I feel like if you're gonna do it, at least do it enough to where you can like, like where you can space out and like feel like you're on the moon. But like if you can still drive, then what are you doing it for? Like it's just a hobby at this point, and I just felt like it was so stupid. But and then he just lost all cognitive function to like form a sentence, and I tried to say something to him and it would go in this ear and it would stay in there, and he tried to like form the sentence, but it would sound like gibberish, and I'd be like, whatever, I don't even want to talk anymore. So it's so like I feel like it's just dumbing people. Like not even it's just it stops brain development and you just become stupid. Like I think that we need to stop it, but it's such a powerful and like money hungry industry that I don't think that it's going to stop anytime soon. And I think that the schools and environments places on trying to stop the usage, I think their idea is good, but I think it's too much, too little, too late, you know?
Yeah.
I think they're doing too much now when they should have been doing a lot back when it first started and they saw it coming, like they saw the uprising in it. I think they should have done something then comparative to now, where I'm like, I have to put my phone in like a caddy and I have to empty out my fucking book bag every morning. Like, come on, like
The fact
I
you
don't
do
want to
that
do
is
all that.
insane. That's actually
Yeah, like
insane.
I don't want to do all that. It's literally 7:40 in the morning. Like, give me a break, Like, give me a break.
Of course.
It's too much.
Yeah, because like for me, shoot, yeah, I'm like, what? For reference, I grew up on like the Juul mainly being the big thing. Before then, it was
Mm,
like for me, I smoked cigarettes when I was like what, 16, 17, on and off. The Juul, I hit it a bit. I wasn't really that big into it. Then when I was like
mm,
21, 22, I got big into like Geek Bars, Razes, the Alpha Bars. And the thing is, with sort of these sort of like nicotine products, is that it's so easy to quickly get hooked on it, right? Because the accessibility. I can hit like
mm,
a vape whenever I want. And like I hit it in my room, not really much of an issue. It dissipates. I
mm,
don't have a. I mean, if I smoke a cigarette in my room, obviously you can tell by like the walls being more yellow. It leaves a lingering
mm,
odor. Like it's a lot more apparent that I'm doing something. But sort of accessibility and the fact that I can always hit it, with them also
mm,
being like 5% nicotine vapes, the amount of nicotine you're actually ingesting is way more than one of a cigarette, which is insane.
mm, mm.
So when you include all those factors, it is way, way worse than honestly smoking just cigarettes straight up. Sure, you can argue about
Mm.
the tar being an issue, but like that's not even that bad compared to the amount of like just nick you're holding in your body. And that leads
I
on
think
to, so
I think it's just getting like, and it's also like younger and younger.
mm,
Like when I was a freshman, you used to only see like seniors doing it. Like you could tell. But now that I'm a senior, I hear like freshmen and like freshmen and sophomores talking about it. And I'm like, bro, you're literally like 13. What do you mean? Like you're I oh my God. Friday, I literally was in engineering class and I just overheard a conversation this guy, he's like literally a sophomore, and he was talking about, oh my God, he was talking about how he had sex like literally last weekend while hitting, and I'm like, bro, what are we saying? Like, first of all, we're in school, but second of all, you're literally like barely 14. What do you mean? Like, what don't you have like anything else to do? Like, I feel like that's just it's getting too it's getting too young.
You'd be
It's
surprised,
getting
bro.
too
In
young.
Florida, that's just like a norm, bro. Like back in the day, at least in middle school, people were doing stupid things like that all the time. Like it was
Mm-mm.
actually unbelievable. And I'm like thinking as a kid, I'm like, wow, people are actually getting like this. But no, it's always been like this. It's just insane how big we kind of just normalize it, truly. But
Yeah, I just it
yeah,
was just weird.
it's insane. Let's go back to more some geopolitical and funnier questions about the world. Is there any countries you despise on either a political or social system?
Um, Honestly, no. I think that I try to see the good in all countries, and even like of course I hate Israel and I hate what they're doing. But like other than like the obvious ones, like I don't there's no country that I hate because like I try to get I'm more like a jack of all trades when it comes to that. Like I try not to look too much into like one country. I try to get educated on all of them and all of what they're most of them on what's wrong with them. So like I'm not like an expert on the idea, but like I try to be a jack of all trades, so I don't. There's nothing that I hate about one country. I don't, or nothing that I like. When I was growing up, I used to hate China, but like that's just propaganda peddled to me by school. So like now that I'm grown up, I don't hate China. Like I don't. I used to be like, oh, they're communist people. We need to hate them, but like it's not even bad. Like it's not, like it's not totalitarianism. Like it's not like they're okay. Like the Chinese people know that they're being watched 24/7, but they're not being lied to, so they feel like it's okay. And if I'm gonna respect their opinion, And
Yeah.
I just feel like I feel like a lot of the countries that I used to hate were peddled by like Google propaganda. So I've tried to move away from that and form my own opinion about the country. So as of right now, I hate Israel, and there's no other country that I think that deserves hate. Well, de deserves my hate as of right now.
You could argue America could we're funding it, but
Well, yeah,
but yeah.
but yeah.
Do you also agree with China being like the one country in the West we just always despise like China as a whole? Like people just have to sort of like hate better towards it. Truly, I never really understood the full extent of why we hate them that much. I mean, obviously economically it makes sense,
Hmm.
and like the wars and really all of
Hmm.
that. But it's insane how we just think of them as like some sort of great evil power. I think there's a lot more worse things in the world, truthfully.
I think it's low key just racism because like China produces so much, like 99% of the stuff we get is produced from China, and it's such a power. Like if China goes, like the world is kind of screwed. Like China does a lot, and in my opinion, I think China is the world's superpower right now. I don't think like America has a really big military, but I would literally rather take my own life than fight in the American military, and I will stand by that until the day I die. So I think that China is the world's superpower right now, and a lot of Americans who just have unwavered patriotism will die on the hill that America is the greatest country to ever do it. And while I think there's some truths to that, I don't think they're the greatest country. I don't even think they're the greatest country right now. I just genuinely think that China is the world's superpower and people don't want to see it simply because they're China, Like they
No.
see communism and they think bad, and it's not bad, it's just done wrong. So that's all.
Yeah, I mean that definitely fits the bill really of how I think of China as well. I think people just almost hate on them a bit too much. I don't think they're as insane or as ludicrous as people make them out to be. I mean,
Hmm.
obviously every sort of country has their own infrastructure issue, but it's nowhere
Yeah.
near the severity of America, in my personal opinion. There is a social
Hmm.
credit thing, but I think people definitely over critique that a bit much. I mean, we in America have our own sort of like social credit thing with like basic misdemeanors for being honest. So yeah,
Yeah.
they're a lot more strict about it, but I think it kind of works because well, people don't really act up in China, at least what I've seen. But here we go. How do you feel about late stage capitalism ruining a lot of passion projects? I mean, the best example I could give is Halo 3 back in the day in 2007. That was one of the most inspirational games in the modern day and age. I feel like a lot of
Mhm.
hobbies and passions that we had when we were younger aren't as fun or really enjoyable. You can kind of tell by the development era because really, late stage capitalism, right? Where we care
Mhm.
way too much about profit margins and more so what we
Mhm.
love the most. How do you feel about that?
I think that it's I think that it's just an effect of capitalism and how far that we've let it go. Like you can even see it in movies. Like there's there's movies that come out and you're like, there's so many good actors in this, it's gonna do well, and it's just a terrible movie. Like it's just a complete trash movie, but it does well because there's actors that people know in it. Like I think that capitalism is killing art, and I think humans are meant to create art. You know, like we are made to make art, and if we're not making art, then we're not living up to our full potential. So I think that capitalism is the problem, is the root. I think capitalism is the root of all evil, not money. And I think that people are ruining art. And I really like art. Like I like to see movies, I like to see paintings, I like to hear music. But like if Taylor Swift is just gonna come out with a new album that's completely garbage and break records simply because she's Taylor Swift, then I think that I don't want to listen to, I don't want to listen to it and I don't want to support that, but it's gonna do numbers anyway because of capitalism and because of how people like see it. So I just think it's ruining art. Like it just that album specifically pisses me off because it's so garbage and it just does so much. And I literally just think it's because of how her record just pushes it out. Like there's a whole movie. Why? There's a there's the movie ticket costs like $23 for an adult when I can watch the same interview where she'll talk about the same thing on Apple Music on their YouTube for free. Like it's ridiculous how much we like I don't know. It's just ridiculous. It's genuinely stupid, but whatever.
It's
I don't make
definitely
the rules.
yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you just wonder what the fuck are we doing? Like what are we
Mm-hmm.
giving our money to? Not even that, but
Mm-hmm.
just like just all the media platforms we just release slop after slop because it sells and because of that we just create this sort of endless feedback loop, right? And for
Yes.
me it's just
Yes.
like it's just unbelievable. Um
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I got like about a few more questions, not too many more. Do you think America is considered the modern day cucks of the world? Like we feed so many countries useless money to promote the most like atrocious ads really imaginable. How do you
Mm-hmm.
feel about that? Do you think we're the modern day cucks in that aspect?
I do. I think that, but I
It's
also
very
think
funny
like
wording.
I don't see any other country doing what we do, like feeding, feeding. Like there's like it's so stupid because that money could go into our own country that needs help. Like it's just like it's so mind blowing to see. Like every time I hear Israel just got another $300 billion, I'm just like, what? Like I just think because like I just think to myself, what could I do with $300 billion? Like that could literally solve most of America's problems, and we just choose to give it to, mind you, a country that's younger than my grandmother down there doing God knows what to those people. Like it's it's unnecessary. We need to help the people in our own country first, like poverty, starvation, hunger, um uh, workforce, like slave labor, like we need to stop all those things here in our own home. Then we can maybe help, some countries that need it. But I feel like we should help ourselves first. And we're not even helping the right causes, really. We're just feeding money into these. like countries to fund wars, and it's just like, why would you want to fight? Why would you want to fund a war, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. Like I felt like even in the sense of like Ukraine where they're trying to, I felt like there was an evil towards that. I felt like there it wasn't to help them, it was more to like, because
Economical gain, I feel like, more or less than
yeah,
anything. Yeah.
because even at the end of the day, I felt like if they weren't, even if Ukraine won the war, they weren't going to stop there. They were going to try to take Russia. I felt like that's where that was going. I feel like I don't even know if that war is still going on because you don't hear much about it. But if it's still going on, because I don't see us sending money there anymore, but if it is still going on, I feel like that's what the whole that idea is. I think they want it because America hates Russia. Like that's, well, maybe not now with DJT there, but I think back then it was about, let's take Russia. This is the next superpower. We're gonna take it. Well,
Of course.
it's gonna be Ukraine's. It's gonna be Ukraine's, but I think that I think America needs to stand on its own 2 feet before we can help other countries stand on their own too.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, for being honest, that's always been like the biggest thing about America in like the 20th century and beyond. After like World War
Hmm.
II, right? We've kind of just always been the, oh yeah, we'll help you guys out. We just give money out the ass. One of the craziest things about America that is actually insane is that Bangladesh had a liberation war because we were basically being bullied by Pakistan. And the funniest thing is, it was essentially a genocide. And the funniest thing is,
Hmm.
America supported that. They supported Pakistan.
Hmm.
The fact that it was even the case tells you a lot. It kind of paints the picture of we just kind of support the most idiotic things historically, and that
Hmm.
really that just leads you to the next question: where do you think you see yourself in the future? Think you'll be out of America? Think you'll move somewhere? Think you'll still be here? Probably in a uni
Mm,
in like maybe in like 10 years. Say we're what 27?
10 years.
It's a long. It's a long
Wow.
time.
I know, because honestly, I didn't even think I was gonna make it to 17. So like 27, that's like, whoa. But 10 years, I do want to be back in my home country, Sweden. I want to go back there. I just think that I think there's as much I can praise America for their opportunities, but I think that there are also opportunities overseas, and I like just the I like the idea of being back home. Every time I go back, I love it and I want to stay. But my a lot of my family's over here too. So I think I want to go to uni for engineering, and I want to figure out I guess I'll figure out what I want to do from there. Like I don't know. 10 years, I do want to go back to Sweden though. Within those 10 years, I want to be back, and I still want to be an engineer. But maybe I'll switch paths by then. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
I mean,
know. But
yeah.
I want to engineer stuff. I want to help. I want it to be part of NASA, but I think NASA's I think NASA's going away now, so who knows?
It's whatever you want to do,
Mm,
man. It's the end of the day. It's your
yeah.
life. I mean, shoot. There's a lot of things you can do in the world, man. It's really just all up to you. And
Hmm.
shoot, how long has this podcast been?
I have no
Wow,
idea.
53 minutes. Not
Not
bad.
bad.
All right, well, I probably got to edit a lot of this, but I'll probably end it. This is Samir, or Sameer40, whatever you want to call me, or Sam, signing off with Conti. It's the first podcast.
Bye.
Peace, peace. Fucking hell.
Bye.